And we can see everyone. All right, so good afternoon, and I think maybe still good morning for some of our partner colleges in the West Coast. We wanted to say thank you so much, and we're really excited to have every single one of you today with us in this launch of our 7th round. And this is going to be for the fall 2020, fall 21 start of the academic year. And with us today, we have 3 other members of the Dream.Us team. So you actually have 75% of us on this presentation. And first is Sadhana. And Sadhana is going to be helping us with questions. So make sure that if you have any questions or any thoughts that you put it out there in your chat, or when we pause for questions that you raise your hand so that we can call on you and you can ask your question. Also with us is Candy Marshall, and as you know, Candy is the president of the Dream.Us, and she also oversees some of our partner colleges, so you get the good fortune to get to work with her a little bit more closely. And we also have with us Elena, and you all have been working with Elena, some of you, on submitting EBRs and getting those payments for our scholars. And Elena is going to start us off by talking about what is our new criteria. And it's really important and key that you pay attention, because we actually do have new criteria for this round, and we're really excited for that. So Elena, take it off.
All right, thanks so much, Gabby. All right, hi everyone. So I just wanted to go ahead and jump in here and let you know about our new rounds getting ready to open. So both our applications, our Opportunity Scholarship and our National Scholarship, are going to open on November 1st. Opportunity is going to close on January 30th, and the National round will close on February 27th. All right. Well, most of you will not be promoting our Opportunity Award. It is something that we wanted to share with you, some of the basic information of the program. So in case you get questions, you'll have a little bit of information on how you can answer those. This scholarship is only available to students who live in and have already graduated or will graduate from one of the 13 states shown here. Applicants from these states have a choice of attending one of our 4 partner colleges. Because those who will be awarded the scholarship will be moving away from home, this scholarship does include on-campus housing and meals in addition to tuition and fees. And the award is for up to $80,000 towards their bachelor's degree, and we're looking to award 50 scholarships this year. All right. Most of you are very familiar with the National Scholarship, since that is what you promote, and your scholars have been awarded the National Scholarship. So we have 2 types of scholarships within this program. We have one for our high school graduates and one for our community college graduates. This award is for up to $29,000 for tuition and fees towards their bachelor's degree. And our high school graduates have the option of either starting at a community college to earn an associate's first, and then they can transfer to earn their bachelor's, or they can begin right away at a 4-year university. All right, just a little bit about the criteria for our Opportunity program. So first off, I've already mentioned they have to have lived in and graduated from one of our locked out states. We do require them to have a little bit of a higher GPA, so the GPA is 2.0 or higher. Key here is they cannot have been previously enrolled in a 4-year institution or a 4-year bachelor's degree program. And they also have to meet either our DACA, or have DACA, TPS, or meet our new immigration eligibility criteria. And I'll be going over that in just a few minutes. All right, and then for our National Scholarship, just a few key pieces to point out here. For those that would be attending as our high school graduates, it's a GPA of 2.5 or greater. Those as a community college would have to have a community college GPA of 3.0 or greater. Of the app attended, but not from a community college or will graduate at the end of this academic year. Again, they have to have DACA, TPS, or meet the immigration eligibility criteria, which we will go over next. All right, so this is what's new for us this year, and our big point to make sure that everybody is well aware of what we have done. So for the past couple of years, again, it's been anybody who has met DACA, TPS, or has met the DACA immigration eligibility criteria. We've now hit the point where a lot of our high school students would no longer qualify for DACA if it were still in place today. So we have come up with this set of criteria. They have to have come to the United States before the age of 16. They have to have continuously resided in the US since November 1 of 2014 up to present time and have no lawful status. The reason we picked November 1 as that date is it's 5 years prior to the opening of this new round. Currently in high school or have graduated from a US high school, or they've obtained a GED certificate from a US program. And then the other piece is that they cannot have been convicted of a felony, significant misdemeanor, 3 or more misdemeanors in the categories which would have disqualified them under DACA, as well as not posing any sort of threat to national security or public safety. So those are the key points we want to make sure that you're well aware of this year. All right, just a quick information over the application. So the application is very straightforward and simple. We do focus on home responsibilities for our applicants because we know not all of our applicants have had the ability to volunteer or engage in community service. So we want to make sure they're getting credit for the things that they're doing at home. We do not collect DACA or TPS documentation or addresses. We don't collect any financial documentation. That is all self-reported by the applicant, but we do reserve the right to ask for it if needed. The other big piece to the application is our essays. So we do require 2 essays. It's a max of 750 words each, one being their educational and career goals, and the other is overcoming adversity. And we really try to drive home with our applicants that they really should get second opinions, third opinions when doing these essays. This is what our selection committee really focuses on, or what they score. And so we want to make sure that, you know, somebody else has had the opportunity to provide feedback, you know, make sure that not necessarily spelling and grammar is at 100%, but we also want to make sure that it's very clear to the person who's reading it. So we want to make sure that they have those opportunities to reach out and get additional insight on how their essays are. All right, and just real quick on the selection timeline for opportunity. So our opportunity application does also serve as the application for the partner college that they are choosing to attend. So on the ISTS side of things, in February, after the application closes, they begin to review all of the complete applications for eligibility. And then our partner colleges receive the applications for everyone who stated that they wanted to attend there. The partner colleges then determine who of the applicants they will accept. And then in early March is when we will notify the recipients of the scholarship, and those recipients are allotted across our partner colleges and are awarded to the highest scoring applicants. right? And then finally on the national selection timeline, so there's two parts to this one. The first part is ISTS reviewing and scoring all the complete and eligible applicants in March. This is done by looking at their grades, standardized test scores, any advanced courses they're taking. Here's where we look at volunteer work, community service, home responsibilities. So all that's scored in the beginning. From that group, we then get a group of finalists. Those finalists are then sent to our selection committee, who are the ones reviewing all of the essays. And with our national committee, we have over 200 people who are leaders from businesses, the educational sector, immigration rights organizations, and each of the finalist essays are read and scored by two different reviewers. And then again, the final piece is to allot the scholarships across our partner colleges. They're awarded out to the highest scoring applicants, and we let the applicants know if they've been selected to receive the scholarship or not.
Yes. So now I do see that there's been some chat activity. I haven't been able to see what's happening, but Sadhana has been monitoring that. And now if we have any questions, you can direct these questions to us. But I just wanted to make a plug and say that one of the reasons why we opted to share with you the information on both scholarships is because we are going to need your help to ensure that we direct the right student to the right place. We have, it doesn't happen that much, but we do get asked about the Opportunity Scholarship, especially because it's open at the same time. But we wanted to make sure that you had this information so that if you have either friends or people, or you even have scholars who are asking you about it, that if, for example, there's a scholar from Florida and wants to apply for the opportunity, you can say, actually, no, the only scholarship that you're available to apply for is the national scholarship. And we will show you on the TheDream.Us website how the students will be able to see which institution they can attend to. But at the same time, we just wanted to make sure that you had that information. So we'll start taking questions now. Sadhana, are there any questions?
Yes, we have some questions. We have a question from Albert at CUNY, actually. He said he just learned that CUNY admissions treats GED scores as pass-fail. So he's asking if there is a GED conversion to get the 2.5 GPA.
There is not. One of the things that I have looked at over the years is even just kind of trying to get an information as to if there is a scale on that. And information that I have read up on states that there is no way to correlate a GED score to a GPA. So for our GED applicants, we treat them as a 4.0 so that they're able to be scored as well as we can score them across the board with our high school applicants.
All right, and the next question is, how do we define significant unmet need?
That's a great question.
So one of the things that we look at is in the self-reporting of the information that the applicants are providing us, it is based on the annual household income and those who will be, and how many of those people in the household will end up being in college in the following year. And then we're able to kind of come up with an estimated family contribution, and it's based on that information that we can see how much need that applicant has.
Okay, next question.
All right, we have another question. So if a student received a scholarship to attend a community college, will their scholarship continue once they move to a four-year institution, or do they have to reapply?
They do not need to reapply. The scholarship does continue with them. Whether they graduate in the spring, they would just, in their renewal form, let us know that they are switching schools, now moving to a four-year university. The scholarship continues. If they happen to be one of the students who happens to graduate in a fall term or after a fall term, they just need to update ISTS and let them know what their new partner college is going to be so that we can make sure that they're showing up in your reporting.
Okay, got two more questions.
Let me just jump in. There are a few partner colleges that students cannot transfer to without advance notice, and those are set forth in our scholarship program guide.
Thank you, Candy. We've got a couple more questions coming in. Will the 50 opportunity scholarships be split equally between the opportunity partner colleges, or will it be based on the amount of interest by the student?
Good question. Candy, do you want to take that one?
We generally are looking at the applicant pool. So we look at two things. One, we want to make sure each of the partner colleges get a robust pool coming to their college. Two, we also look at the size of the applicant pool. And if a college has a really strong applicant pool, they'll likely get more than a college that does not.
Okay. If a student has a change of immigration status while in the school year, do they still continue to be eligible?
Once a scholar receives residency, they no longer become eligible for the national scholarship if they are a national awardee. The reason being is they now become eligible to file a FAFSA and receive federal aid. If it is an opportunity scholar, however, they are allowed to continue because of the fact that they have moved away from home. So at that point, we actually reduce their overall award by the federal funding that they receive.
And one thing that's also really important to note, and we've actually had scholars that have asked us this, and they say, well, I don't want to lose my scholarship if I apply for residency. I'm just going to wait until I graduate to do that. And that's a big mistake. And so what we have told our scholars is that while they are applying and waiting for that residency to come in, that they will still receive the scholarship. It's until, like Elena said, they get the residency and are eligible to apply for FAFSA that they are no longer eligible for a scholarship. So we know that right now it's taking over a year to sometimes 2 years for people who are filing for residency to receive that. So we encourage all of our scholars to do that if they can. And once they get their green card, we'll be really happy to hear that, because not only will they be able to get FAFSA, but completely leave the limbo status that a lot of them are in.
Okay, and we got one last question. What type of documents do you request to determine need? And do you interview the student before making a determination?
Now, as I had mentioned in one of the previous slides, we do not require students to upload or applicants to upload financial documentation. It is all self-reported. So it is based on the information that they are self-reporting that we make the determination, but we do reserve the right to ask for documentation if we think something may be off in the information that they've provided. And then what was the second part of that, Sadhana?
Do we interview the student before making the determination?
We do not. So it is all based on the scoring that is done based around academics, essays, volunteerism, community service, home responsibilities.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Elena.
You're welcome.
All right, so now is to my favorite part, and this is showing you this year's 2019 promotional toolkit. And as we said to you, we promised you it's going to be updated, and there is some good updates. And we didn't send it out because it's pretty big, but I'm going to show you exactly where to find it. So you are going to go to the TheDream.Us website. And as you all know, we have created a special place for our colleges. And so if you go to the TheDream.Us website, you go to www.thedream.us or TheDream.Us, right on the top left corner, is the Partner College Hub. And when you click on the Partner College Hub, you're going to scroll down and you're going to see all these different tabs that I'm sure you're all going to, especially if you've missed an email and you want to look at the latest news, and you can, go in here and see it. But also here you have your partnership toolkits and your scholarship toolkits, promotional toolkits, etc. The promotional toolkit lives here. And the promotional toolkit, you can click on it here. And what's going to happen is that it's going to open a PDF document. And we're going to go and review over this. So the introduction practically has stayed the same. The introduction goes and talks about our goals and our partnership, which include not only to support our scholars to excel academically and be ready to join the workforce, but also try to help our scholars with some of the barriers, right, in completing a college education. So I'm not going to go into detail on that because you all had a presentation in September that talked about this. But, these are the things like ensuring that the students have mental health support. So through the mental health liaison, that students know that they can use the campus, for example, food pantry if they need it to, or if some of you have legal services, that all that is made available to them. And more importantly, that we are together achieving a 75% graduation rate. So that is one thing that you're going to start hearing from us a lot, because now we have our 5th and 6th class coming in, and we want to make sure that all of our scholars are successfully graduating and that they're not having issues getting to that finish line. So the next thing that you're going to see in your toolkit is just overall guidelines. And so for some of you, this might be new if you are new to TheDream.Us or your position. But the way we reference you as an institution is we call you our partner college. So everywhere that you see information about your institution and TheDream.Us, you will always see the word partner college or a partner. We ask you to please, when you are talking about the scholarship, that you are specific as possible so that the students who are applying know if it's the national or the opportunity. The other thing is that we also ask you to please not put the criteria on your website, but rather to put a link of our website, because what's going to happen is that every year, as has been happening, our criteria will change. And we have a little bit of homework to do, because I went through every single one of your pages, and every single one of your pages is a little outdated. So that is one request that we will be making to every single one of you, to please update your websites with the current information of the Dream.Us, and also to please put our new logos, because we've had maybe this new logo for the last, I would say, 3 years. And I know that some folks are still using the old logo that we had before. So what are the core messages? So the core message that we want to send to our students and our scholars is that we are the largest college access and success program. So it's not just about scholarship, it's not just about money, it's ensuring that they're successful both during their college life and their career. The other thing too is that, we believe in them, and we believe in access to higher education, and that through our partnership, we are able to commit to their success. So you can go through some of these core messages and look at that. And you can grab some of this and literally just copy and paste some of these messages into either press releases, Twitter messages, or anything you want to use to promote the scholarship. As Elena said, very important is that we have adopted new immigration eligibility criteria. And this is something that we really are going to need your help in getting the word out, because most of our students, and even some of you, this is news to you, But many people are still going to believe that the scholarship is only open to people that have either DACA or TPS. And as all of you know, 2 years ago, we expanded it so that it would be people who are DACA eligible, didn't have to have DACA, but were eligible. And we did that because the program was ended by Trump in September 2017 for anybody who had not been able to apply. The program is still available for those who already have DACA and can renew. But this year, as Elena was saying, we have expanded our immigration eligibility criteria to include those people who came to the United States before November 1, 2014, and have no lawful status. They also need to have come to the United States before the age of 16, so 15 and under. So when you're doing applicant outreach, we have learned, and if you remember, this used to be a small list. The list keeps growing because we're learning from all of you, and all of you have given us amazing tips of how you have been successful. So one of the colleges that always does really well in promoting the scholarship and getting a nice, robust group of applicants is Metropolitan State University. So Metro State, if you're listening to this, high five. Thank you for your work. And one of the things that Metro does is that after people start applying, what they do is they actually go into their report and see who the students are. They contact the students, they ask them to come on campus. They have certain days where they have these workshops where they open their computers, courtyards, and they help the students fill out their application. They also bring current scholars to be sort of like ambassadors and help the students with their essays by checking them and by editing them and making sure that those applicants feel welcome and start to feel what it's going to be like to be on your college campus. So here are 10 different ideas and examples of, again, what our colleges have been doing. The other thing is many of the CUNY schools, and you'll see this later on, they actually modify our flyer. They talk to us, they let us know, you know, we want to do this to our flyer, we want to add our logo, and we want to change it so that we can create some sort of banner. And they have done such a beautiful job to do that. And we encourage that because we know, and as you know, most of you have already received your flyers and your stickers. We do now have a sort of branding. And so when people see that flyer, they know it's us. And when they come to our website, they see, you know, that the logos are the same. So, you know, we encourage you to use our flyers and to modify that and make sure that you're using that to promote. The other thing that is really important, and we're going to show you some examples of this, is your own website. So if most of the time what we learn is that students actually are finding out about the scholarship and about you through a Google search. So if you have us on your website, if you have information about undocumented students, dreamers, immigrant youth, etc., and you use all those different keywords, the likelihood that a student who wants to go to college and feels maybe defeated or feels that it's not possible and Googles and finds you and finds on your website our scholarship, the likelihood of them applying is going to go, you know, up the roof. So make sure that on your websites you have clear information and you let people know that you welcome these students on campus. So the other thing is press releases. So getting the support of media is going to be key. Now, every year we do media, we try to do national media, we try to get as much exposure as possible, but we cannot do what you can do and what your media departments that have the connections and the relationships with the local media can do. And so we ask you to please, you know, if you can, there is newsworthy, we have new criteria, the criteria is expanding. We can work with you, give you quotes from your scholars. We have a bank of stories. Today, actually, Hunter College has the Dreamer of the Week, and we've been sharing those stories every week with the media. So we ask you to please work with us. We can actually help you write those press releases if needed. But there is some samples there of some of the press releases that some of our institutions like Miami-Dade College, Lewis University, and Oglethorpe have done. And if you need a quote from either Candy or myself or one of the other team members, we'll be more than happy to work with you to provide that. Now, social media. I know that some of us might not necessarily be keeping on track too much on social media, but our young people are. And so, you know, these are some of the hashtags that we know are popular and we know that are being used. We ask you to please always try to put the hashtag TheDream.Us, no period, TheDream.Us, so that we can track it and we can retweet it. You can also send us and put our handle so that we can see it, so that we can also retweet it. But use a combination of things like Dreamer and undocumented. In some parts of the state, in some places, you know, people don't really use Dreamer, they use more undocumented, others use undocumented and not Dreamer. So play around with your words, interchange them, so that you can have a bigger possibility of reaching a bigger audience. Right now, because of the DACA campaign, a hashtag that is being used a lot is Home is Here. So if you want to use that one as well to make sure that you're picking up the trend, which is right now for undocumented students and those that specifically are that have DACA, that's a good one to use. And I Stand with Immigrant is another one. The typical ones on higher education, college, higher ed, higher education. Here are some sample Twitter messages that we've created, and these are all now updated to ensure that the new immigration eligibility criteria is reflected. So before we used to talk about DACA and TPS, now we're expanding that and talking, you know, and saying DACA, TPS, and those that came to the country before November 1, 2014. So again, you can copy and paste any of these and use as needed. These are Facebook posts similarly. And here we have a little bit more room to talk and share more because of course Twitter has a limit. But this is an example. Are you planning to enroll in college, have DACA, TPS, or came to the country before November 1, 2014 and came to the US before your 16th birthday and need financial aid to attend college? The Dream.Us is now accepting applications, etc. And so these can also be used on Instagram. So these are sample Twitter posts. I would love, love, love to get new ones. As you know, these are actually the ones that we've been using now for the last 2-3 years. So please send me some Twitter posts as soon as you start posting so that I can update our promotional toolkit. And hey, you never know, maybe your institution can be up here as well. Maybe we can do a little contest and see who has the most retweets, and that's the one that gets up here. These are some sample Facebook posts, Instagram, okay? And here are flyers. As you know, and I will show you this also on our website after we finish this piece, you can download these. We have sent them to you. You can, if you ask us for permission, we can send you the image and you can switch them around and add your logo as I shared before. This is the state graphic for the lockout states, and this is specific to the Opportunity Scholarship. And we have that graphic too that you can use. And we are working to edit this image because this image has information that says only DACA and TPS. And so I know that we sent these out maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So if you have them, maybe you can take that piece out, or we can work on seeing if we have funding to do some of these. But the image will be edited. It's being edited as we speak, and as soon as we have it edited, it's going to be being uploaded on the website for you to print out and use as needed. We also have these really nifty posters and flyers that you can download, and we actually have new ones that we did, and so we have now instead of having 8, we actually have 16 of these, and you know, they're quotes from our scholars, quote from us, quotes practically that speaks to the students, and you can use those on your websites, you can use this on social media. And so here are some of our partner colleges websites, and some of the websites that I feel have been the best ones because of certain things. So this website is from our partner college in Illinois, National Louis. And National Louis, the reason why I chose this website is because it's easy to find and it's super user-friendly. On the financial aid tab, they have a drop-down menu that takes you just information for undocumented students. So if you see, it says financial aid, scholarships, and then undocumented students. If I'm an undocumented student and I see that, I'm gonna wanna go to National Louis because they are telling me I am welcome there. The other thing that they do is that they list several resources aside from TheDream.Us. And that is one thing that we always tell our scholars. Try to apply to other scholarships, try to see what other resources are available for you. And if you can put all those on the website, that would be great. The other thing is that the search engine will take you directly to this page. So if I go on the search engine for National Louis, I will be able to find this website if I use the keyword undocumented, DACA, or Dreamer. So those keywords are going to be really key for you. Here's another website that I really like, and I like it for this reasons. One, the link directs from our website to the eligibility rules. And like I said before, it's really important that you do that because we will always have on our website, when we launch the round, the most up-to-date rules and the application and the rounds and etc. So you want to make sure that you link us to that because obviously one, that's where the application is for the students to apply. But we want to make sure that there's no errors in people believing that, for example, right, if your website used to say that it's only for DACA and TPS, but it doesn't have the new eligibility criteria, that is not a mistake that we're leaving people out. The other thing that I really love about the Trinity website is that there's stories of our scholars there and of their own scholars. So there's a story actually by Sadhana Singh, and Sadhana, as you probably know, is she's an alumni and she went to Trinity. But if you scroll through this page, you'll see a story of Sadhana, you'll see another story. And that's really important too for a 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old to say, wow, there are other people like me on campus. And the nice thing too that I love of this website is that there's a nice and warm welcome. And it says, Dreamers welcome, and they feel really proud to welcome them on campus and to be part of the Dream.Us and be in partnership. So seeing those messages, some of your websites have beautiful messages from your college presidents, resolutions that the student governments have passed that are all there. And that really makes somebody, that right now feels a lot of anxiety and stress feel like they're wanted. And that's a nice feeling that we want all of our scholars to have. The last thing is that on this website, there's 5 simple steps to apply to Trinity as a potential Dream.Us scholar. That's the other thing, right? So a lot of the undocumented students, what usually happens is they go to an admissions office and they don't really know how to describe their status. They don't really know how to talk to people. And sometimes even well-meaning folks may give misinformation. And so being able to have all that spelled out in a place where the students know they can apply to our scholarship, but also can apply to your institution is also a great thing that one of the reasons why I chose this. And if you want, I have added the links of these websites to the bottom of the page so you can see it. The last website that I chose, it's one of our keynote partners, and this is Staten Island. And the things that I love about this website is one, they have our updated logo and our flyer. The links are directly go to our website. They have important campus contact. So they have an actual contact of a person they can talk to for further information and assistance. And that's a person that knows about our program and can give, you know, specific information. So they have the department, the name, the email, phone number. And there's a note about qualifying for in-state tuition and requirements, which many of our institutions do have both institutional aid and state aid, and being able to know that from the beginning and making sure that the students are applying and applying early, as most of you know, is crucial. So like I was saying before, we changed our logo a couple of years ago. I know that the old logo still lingers around here and there, but please make sure that you go through your website, and we know that sometimes changing websites and making edits can be very difficult, but if you can, please work with your IT folks and your web development people to add our new logos. And we have with taglines, without taglines, we have them in different color scheme, we have them in small, large, so whatever it is you need, please let us know. And we also have the specific logos for our 2 scholarships. One little trick that for you to know is that most of the time, what you'll see is that our opportunity scholarship will be in red. So for example, if you look at the guidelines, the opportunity will be in red, and our national will be in blue. So that's how you can differentiate between the 2 scholarships. And here they are, the logos. And that's the end of that. So again, to find our promotional toolkit, you go to the TheDream.Us website. You're going to click on the Partner College Hub. You'll go to Promotional Toolkits, and it'll be right there. And there will be also the different logos that you can grab. We're putting up, these are the flyers you can do. And I want to be able to change these, and I want to be able to put new samples of our flyers and how they've been adapted, because if you notice, both of them have the old logo. And I have just been waiting for this day to ask you to please share with us, when you have a chance, your new adaptive flyer so that we can you know, highlight it. So here's a few of our institutions that have done that and have done such a beautiful job. And here are the other tags and images that we have that you can use. But if there's anything that you need, if you want to do a press release, if you want to, you know, you're having trouble being able to get some of the images and flyers and stuff that we have, please reach out to us, reach out to me, and I'll make sure that we get the right information to you. So we will be, this is being recorded, so if you need to watch it again, or if you want to send this to somebody, you know, we will be sending this out. Sadhana, do you want to see if we have any other questions? Or, and I don't know if Candy or Elena, if there's something you want to say?
I do, Gabby. There's one important tool that we have not mentioned. And maybe while I'm speaking, Gabby, if you could go to our website and to the National Scholarship landing page, and then we'll look at the bar over on the right. We have application guidelines that we have prepared, and they are literally a step-by-step guide that students can use in completing the application. And you should use these when you are doing sessions with students, if you're going to have them come in, as Gabby suggested, and I love that idea. When they come in, you can actually walk them through this guide as they're having them use this guide as they're completing their application. So you see here, it tells them how to determine their eligibility. So that's first step, so they don't apply if they're not eligible. No sense in wasting their time. But then it goes to completing the application. It tells them what we'll need for applicant information. It tells them, if you keep scrolling down, their academic information that we will be collecting, some important tips there about partner colleges, financial information, the responsibilities section where they upload all their community service, then the essays themselves, the essay prompts, and the prompts are really helpful for them in writing targeted, successful essays, and then how to submit and monitor their application. So you can find those right on the website. The other key tool that will be coming to you soon, right after the round launches, we will send all of our partner colleges a preview link. And that is a link that you can use and walk students through it to show them how the application works. And it's also good just for you to walk through and fill it out, because then you have a really good sense of what it is we're asking. So one tool you have already, application guidelines, they exist for the opportunity as well, and they are program specific. And then second is we'll send out the link for both programs, opportunity for those who it's relevant, and then the national.
Yes. And one thing that I had mentioned on the website is that if you go to scholarships and you don't really know, I'm a student and I don't really know if I can apply to the national, you just go to scholarships and you'll have a drop down that will tell you by state if, you know, which institution you can apply to. So, or which program. So I am in Florida. And so if I'm in Florida, I'm a national scholar. Okay. If I am, let's see, let's pick South Carolina. I am a part of the lockout state, and I can go either to attend a partner outside of my state or online. And if I do that, it's going to tell me opportunity scholarship. So that is, in essence, the this page that will tell you, and then you can also go here and it explains, you know, who can apply to here and who can apply to here. All right, Sadhana, let's take some questions.
All right, we have one that came in. The question is, how many national scholars will be awarded besides the 50 opportunity scholars?
So Candy, do you want to, or Elena?
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. We are looking to award about 600 scholars this year.
And what I should say about both of those, the 50 number for opportunity and 600, there are two contingencies on that. One is we have to have robust applicant pools. So we want to make sure that we have really robust pools with college-ready students. Then what I also would like to say is, well, that's a lower number than we have awarded in the past. What has happened in the last 3 years is we have had a budget of 800, and each year we have exceeded that by giving 1,000 or more. And two things impact that. One, if we have a really robust applicant pool, and we've had record-breaking applicant pools, that allows us to go to other donors and ask if they would contribute more funds. And if we are able to get more funds, that actually increases the number of awards that we're able to give. So those two contingencies, I don't want you to think because you're hearing the number 600, when last year we gave out just over 1,000, means you shouldn't promote. You absolutely should promote. One, just to make sure you have a robust pool, but two, because it really helps us from a fundraising standpoint, and we might be able to fund more students.
Great, thank you, Candy. Any other questions?
Nope, no more questions so far.
Wonderful. So thank you so much for joining us today to learn about this year's round. It's going to open next week. We're super excited. And I really hope that you take us on the offer to help us promote and get it out. Please review your toolkit, and when you start sending out Twitter posts and Instagram posts, make sure to tag us so that we can screen share that and put it up, and Sadhana and I will be retweeting and liking and loving those posts. And then also please make sure that you're working with your IT, the folks that work on your website, to update the informations on your website. We did do, like I said, check by check with all the institutions, and many of our institutions unfortunately do have our old logo and also have information that is no longer correct. So please make sure you do those things, and if you need anything, let us know. Like Candy said, we're going to be sending you more information. We're going to be sending you emails. Please make sure that you are looking at your weekly. That email gets sent out every single week, and we'll have really great and crucial information for all of you. And if you have any questions or anything, again, you can contact us. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great week, rest of the week at least.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.